The average RV buyer spends over $12,000 on repairs in the first 3 years of ownership. Let that number sit for a second, $12,000 on a unit that was sold to you as fully inspected, road ready, and serviced before delivery. And according to industry service data, more than 80% of these repair bills trace back to failures that a 2-hour pre-purchase inspection would have caught before the check was written. Here's the thing, the dealer walkthrough is not an inspection. It is a choreographed performance, engineered to keep your eyes off the roof, off the frame, off the slide outs, and off the wet bay. By the time that check clears, the preventable has become your problem. Not the dealer's, not Thor's, yours. Today, we are auditing 6 repairs, ranked from costly to catastrophic. Stop shopping like a victim and start thinking like an auditor. Smash that subscribe button because we're about to save you from some seriously expensive mistakes. And stay to the end because the number 1 repair on this list has bankrupted more first-time buyers than any other failure in this industry. 9 out of 10 of them had warning signs on the walkthrough. They ignored them because the salesman was smiling. Let's get into it. Number 6, the rooftop air conditioner. Typical repair costs, $800 to $2,500 per unit. Coleman Mac, Dometic Brisk 2, Dometic Penguin 2. All 3 are documented across owner forms as appliances that die early and cannot be rebuilt. Here is what the dealer says on the walkthrough. All appliances were serviced. Here is what that means in practice. Nobody pulled an amp draw reading on the compressor. Nobody checked the capacitor's microfarad rating. Nobody measured the delta T. The temperature split between return air and supply air against the manufacturer's spec. The unit was running. Running is not cooling. These rooftop units are sealed. The compressor, condenser, evaporator, and refrigerant circuit are a single closed loop with no service port. There is no recharge in it. Once the compressor starts pulling high amps or the refrigerant charge drops, you do not repair the unit. You replace the entire thing. Airstream owners have paid $2,500 per unit in 2024. The compressor alone runs $500 to $1,200 for the part. And the labor on a sealed unit typically exceeds the cost of a brand new replacement. Translation, you're buying a 15-year-old appliance that the manufacturer designed to be thrown away, and the dealer is charging you as if it is brand new. Prevention takes 10 minutes. Run every AC unit for 20 minutes. Pull an amp draw reading with a clamp meter, check the delta T. A unit pulling less than an 18-degree delta is failing, no matter what the dealer tells you. Verdict, palliative care on a $1,300 box of Freon. But a bad AC is only a long weekend. The next one on this list ends trips and sometimes ends highways. Number 5, wheel bearing and axle failure. Prevention costs $150 to $300 per axle. Repair costs after failure, $1,500 to $5,000. This is the failure that can end your life, not your vacation. And it is the one repair on this entire list where the prevention literally costs less than a tank of diesel. The dealer says fresh off a service. The buyer nods, signs, and drives off. 6 months later, at 70 miles per hour on Interstate 40, a bearing welds itself to the spindle. The wheel locks up, the axle twists. If the driver's lucky, it ends in a breakdown lane instead of a news report. Factory grease on most new trailers is minimal. Savvy owners repack the bearings the day they take delivery because the factory job is a 2-minute dab, not a proper packing. Axle manufacturers, including Dexter, the most common brand in the industry, recommend an annual repack or every 10 to 12,000 miles. And those EZ-Lube Zerk fittings the dealer raves about, they are a trap. The Zerk pushes grease past the rear seal, saturates the brake pads, and destroys the hub, doubling the repair bill when owners think they are preventing one. One Grand Design owner on the forums destroyed his spindle, both brakes, and the drum. The quickest fix was to replace the entire axle assembly. Translation, you're about to tow a 60,000-pound missile down the highway on a $12 tub of grease that nobody verified was actually applied. Prevention, ask for the bearing repack receipt, dated within the last 12 months. No receipt? Price a repack into your offer and feel each hub after a short drive. A hot hub is a dying bearing. Verdict, a death sentence on sale for $300. And if you're finding this breakdown useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Here's the thing, a bearing is at least fixable. The next failure has a $2,000 buy-in to find out if your fridge can be saved at all. Number 4, the Absorption fridge. Cooling unit replacement, $1,500 to $2,300. Full 12-volt compressor conversion, $2,500 to $4,000. Dometic and Norcold, 2 names that have been breaking in the same 2 ways for 30 years. Neither company has fixed it. The fridge works, we ran it this morning. The reality. The ammonia cooling circuit is under internal stress from the moment the unit leaves the factory. When it fails in one of 2 ways, a rupture or a blockage. Both are terminal, neither is cheap. These fridges require the RV to be stored level. Even 10 minutes parked on a steep grade can start precipitating sodium chromate crystals inside the cooling coils. If the previous owner stored the unit on a slope in their driveway, the cooling unit is already dying. You have not seen the yellow powder yet. That yellow-orange residue behind the fridge, that is the smoking gun. So is a faint ammonia smell. So is a hissing sound when the unit is running. One Keystone owner had an extended warranty that covered $2,300 of the repair. The full replacement still left him $2,000 out of pocket. Prevention is simple. Pull the exterior access panel behind the fridge. Shine a flashlight along the cooling coils. Any yellow residue, any crystal deposits, any ammonia smell. You walk, not negotiate, walk. Translation, you're buying a 1970s refrigeration design that the industry kept selling because it was cheap, and the cheap part is about to cost you $3,000. Verdict, a $2,300 appliance held together by hope and self-tapping screws. A dead fridge is an inconvenience. The next one is a structural failure, and it moves. Number 3, slide out mechanism. Failure, motor and rack kit, $1,400 to $3,200. Full replacement, $4,500 to $5,000. With floor rot involved, $10,000 plus. This is the single most complained about mechanical system in the modern RV industry. The Schwintek in-wall slide, built by Lippert. Lippert's own training course, and I'm not making this up, has a session dedicated to installation tolerances. That is corporate language for "we know it does not fit right," the dealer claim. Slide operates fine. The reality, the Schwintek was popping, lurching, and bowing the sidewall on its very first trip. The selling owner learned to stop cycling it because every cycle was destroying the gears a little more. When they listed the unit for sale, they extended the slide once, took the photo, and hoped you would not test it. The Schwintek uses 2 synchronized motors with no mechanical link between them. When voltage drops below 10 volts, or when the room is slightly out of square, the motors fall out of sync. The hex gears chew the rack, the wall bows. One Grand Design owner paid $4,500 for a full Veroom slide system replacement and called it the best upgrade he ever made to any RV. Another owner's insurance adjuster authorized $1,700. The dealer's estimate came back at $5,000. Prevention, cycle every slide 3 times on the walkthrough. In and out, in and out, in and out. Listen for popping. Watch for uneven movement. Inspect the seals at all 4 corners. And press on the floor immediately inside the slide opening. Any softness means water has already entered. Translation, you're buying a 10-foot section of your RV that moves on 2 motors the manufacturer already knows do not work, and the warranty runs out before the failure does. Verdict, a $5,000 betrayal. Pre-installed at the factory, but a failed slide is still only a component. The next 2 repairs are structural, and they separate a repair bill from a total loss. Number 2, frame flex and cracked welds. Mobile weld repair, $1,700 to $3,000. With sidewall separation, $7,000 plus. Number 2 on our list is the repair that gets covered up, welded over, and sold forward. Frame flex and cracked welds on Lippert chassis. Documented across Grand Design, Forest River, Keystone, and Heartland. Every major brand in the industry. The dealer claim, she's been fully inspected. The reality, that rust pattern around the axle welds took a year to form. The selling owner knew, the dealer knew, neither of them mentioned it. Here is the corporate failure made visible. Lippert builds these frames to specifications set by Thor and Forest River. Specifications that prioritize weight reduction and piece rate pay assembly speed over structural integrity. Thin I-beam main frame members, poor weld prep, rust forming under the paint before the trailer ever leaves the factory. Cracks form right next to the axle hangers, the area that sees the most stress every mile. Grand Design owners have been reimbursed $1,500 to $1,900 for mobile well repairs. Lippert mailed them the patch parts for free. One Forest River Freedom Express owner documented 8 separate frame damage zones, axle hangers, cracked outriggers, mainframe rail, on a trailer that had never left pavement. A Heartland owner was quoted $7,000 in shipping alone to return the unit to Indiana because the sidewalls had separated from the frame. Prevention, crawl the frame before you sign. Bring a flashlight. Inspect every weld within 24 inches of each axle hanger. Look for paint cracks. Look for rust bleed. Look for the yellow marker lines from a previous repair. If you see a fresh weld that does not match the factory paint, you walk. Translation, you're buying a trailer whose frame the factory already knew was under-engineered, and you're about to drive it home at 70 miles per hour on an interstate. Verdict, rolling structural failure that the dealer painted over and tied a bow on. If this is already saving you from a headache, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. And now, the number 1 repair on this list. the one that ends more RV ownership stories than any other, and the one that is almost always visible on the walkthrough if you know where to look. Number 1. Roof delamination and water intrusion. Roof membrane replacement $6,000 to $14,000. Decking repair, add $1,000 to $3,000. Sidewall delamination $2,000 to $20,000. This is the number 1 preventable repair in the RV industry. A single neglected roof seam generates 2 major repair invoices: roof replacement and sidewall delamination, and a cascading third one when the floor rots out underneath. The dealer claim: the roof was resealed. The reality: somebody spread a tube of fresh decor over the existing cracked decor and called it service. A $40 moisture meter would have caught the damage in 30 seconds. RV walls are not built like your house. The sidewall is low on substrate, thin foam insulation, and a fiberglass outer skin, all glued together with an adhesive that fails when it gets wet. Once water gets past a roof seam, it travels laterally under the rubber membrane. It saturates the foam, it destroys the adhesive bond. The fiberglass skin bubbles, blisters, and waves. By the time you see the bubble from the outside, the interior is already rotted. The numbers are sobering. Full roof membrane replacement runs $6,000 to $14,000 on a travel trailer, and up to $20,000 or more on a large motorhome. Sidewall delamination adds another $2,000 to $20,000 on top. Industry sources have documented thousands of owners who put off a $400 reseal until it compounded into a $20,000 structural replacement. Prevention is the cheapest insurance policy in the entire RV world. Buy a $40 moisture meter, push the probes into every corner of the interior, roof to sidewall seam, around every window, inside the wet bay, at every slide corner, and at the front and rear caps. Any reading above 15% is a soft wall. Above 20% is a rotting wall. You walk. Translation: you're buying a rolling house where the roof, the floor, and the walls are all one continuous sponge, and the sponge started soaking 6 months before you saw it. Verdict: a $20,000 bill held together by hope and self-tapping screws. The number 1 way this industry quietly transfers the factory's sins to the buyer's wallet. Here's the thing: none of these 6 repairs are surprises. Not one. Every single failure has been documented for years, on owner forums, in service bulletins, in Lippert's own training materials. The industry knows. The dealers know. The only question is whether you know before you sign. Your moisture meter is the last line of defense. Your flashlight is the last line of defense. Your willingness to walk away is the last line of defense. There are 4 items, non-negotiable. 1. Hire an independent RV inspector, $250 to $400. Not the dealer's technician, a certified independent with no sales commission. 2. Moisture meter every seam yourself, $40 on Amazon. Roof to sidewall, windows, wet bay, slide corners. Above 15%, you walk. 3. Crawl the frame. Cycle every slide 3 times. Inspect welds near axles. Listen for popping slides. Press on floors at slide openings. 4. Demand maintenance receipts. Roof reseal within 2 years. Bearing repack within 12 months. Appliance service records. No paper, no deal. Stop shopping like a victim and start thinking like an auditor. The dealer is not your friend. The walkthrough is not an inspection. Let me know in the comments which repair on this list surprised you the most. And if you want to make smarter choices, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.